And welcome to the Saturday Morning Comics Show, the only show that believes both Daredevil and Helen Keller were faking it. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Fanboy
Hello.
and Spawn.
Howdy.
And today we're going to start by going over what we are reading and what came out this week. You want to start, Max? Spawn?
Yeah, yeah. So this was a light week for me personally with comics, but I read World's Finest, which I'm absolutely loving. I don't know. Are you guys reading World's Finest by any chance?
I am
No, I
not.
hear it's good.
World's Finest is in a way it's kind of like opening up Saturday morning cartoons. They're just a bunch of fun vibes. The art in the book is amazing. Mark Wade, a fantastic writer, and everything with that is just, oh my God, so good. I only sing its praise. I recommend that. I read the Green Lantern one shot that came out for DCKO with the tie-in. If you guys read that,
What
No.
did you think of that? Because they announced that and there was just like, were you guys wondering what Kyle Rayner is doing during DCKO? Here it is. And I'm like, no, I really wasn't wondering that at all.
No one asked.
so
DC.
so
DC
some
showed
people
us.
know this about me. Uh, and here's my confession. I'm not the biggest Kyle Rayner fan. I like him, don't get me wrong. He's cool. But he isn't my goat Hal Jordan, you know. But
Mhm.
that being said, I always love a good Kyle story. And I thought this was just kind of like, that's cool. Nice to see you're doing shit in the universe, Kyle. Uh, can't wait till you're the main lead in the new Green Lantern run.
His suit
Uh,
looks so bad in the new.
oh my God. I
It looks so bad.
so for those who haven't seen the suit, the best way I can describe it is that it's pretty good, like from the neck down. Like it looks like a really cool Green Lantern suit. And then you come to the mask. And like most of the Green Lanterns, they have the mask. It comes with like the white eyes, or they're green, that usual thing. Nah, they just have it cutouts, and it just looks so. It looks like a Party City mask.
It
Now that I'm
reminds
thinking
me
about
of how they do characters in Teen Titans Go. It's
it. Yes.
very flat, very
Yeah.
one-dimensional.
So that's at least on DC's side. I didn't read anything Marvel really this week. I'm still reading through Immortal Hulk. Like I mentioned last week, it's just a phenomenal series. On the side of independent comics, though, I finally caught up on G.I. Joe and the Dreadnought War. Me and Fanboy were talking about it. Anthony, do you know what I'm talking about, G.I. Joe wise?
I haven't read any of it.
Okay,
Oh, that's
so
so good. You're missing out.
Well, I'm gonna get the hardcover once it comes out in like March.
which also I will be getting because those hardcovers look very beautiful. Um, so Anthony, are you okay if I talk about some
Yeah,
spoiler?
go for it. I won't
Okay.
remember by then.
A spoiler warning for anybody reading the most current G.I. Joe run. They just did this giant event called the Dreadnought War. And for those that know the characters of the Dreadnoughts in G.I. Joe, they were fighting with Duke and Cobra Commander, and it was just great, just awesome high octane chase, and it just kept building and building on itself to this big reveal of Hound, a really awesome GI Joe character that I've been loving throughout the series, revealing that he has a Transformers in the midst of him. And if you know anything about Duke's past with all of the Transformers characters, that does it rub for him well. So you're sitting there, and at least for me, I was like, okay, well, I'm so excited to see what's next. And then they do this ending, and it pulls the like at least for me, it pulled the rug right out from under me, and they revealed that this infiltrator of Cobra named Zartan has been impersonating General Hawk, like the main leader of G.I. Joe. And we don't know, as the audience, we don't know how long he's been doing this. And it was just such a crazy, like, just twist. And I cannot like to start singing the praise of this book. And if you aren't reading it, I highly recommend picking up. It's one of the best independent books out right now.
I kind of figured there was some sort of crossover going on because my local comic book shop, for those that don't know and aren't in our Discord server, I post their TikToks every time they post, and they go over their stuff of the week. And the owner that does it said, "You don't want to miss this Transformers issue. You don't want to miss this GI Joe issue." I go, "Well, that's weird." So I kind of figured there was something going on there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, just Transformers right now being written by Robert Kirkman and G.I. Joe being written by Joshua Williamson. They're both like the love for those franchises, but also pushing it in a direction that at least I, as a fan, have never seen before is great because it is so refreshing. It is still the same thing that I grew up watching, but all of a sudden it's so different and so refreshing. And again, I recommend, like highly, highly recommend, even just for the art alone. Like the first 24 issues of Transformers were done by one of our personal favorite artists, Daniel Warren Johnson, who is just, oh my God, his art's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Fanboy, what did you think of the reveal of Zartan?
Oh, yeah. When I was reading it, like I was like, oh my god, Zartan, one of my personal favorite villains in GI Joe next to Cobra Commander. And dude, this arc was so good too. Like just seeing Duke like handcuff himself to Cobra and try to run away from the
Did you not?
yeah Dreadnought gang was so interesting and so much fun to see.
It
And
really had that like old like G.I. Joe feel to it, like every
mhm.
issue was like, oh, this is a part of the episode.
Yeah, it does feel like that. I ain't gonna lie, my dad grew up on these cartoons, and I just don't want to tell him like what just happened, because that's how good it is.
No, I feel you. I feel you. But yeah,
what
that's kind of
else
that's
have
what
you
I've been
been
reading.
reading, fanboy?
Well, I went to my comic shop, pick up my books, and I read GI Joe Transformers, and also read Absolute Batman, in the annual, where he fights a bunch of white supremacists. I thought, dude, this is so much fun to read, and this has come from someone who's not a very big fan of Absolute Batman.
Did you like the panel where he broke the guy's arm?
Dude, that is perfect. Like I want to hang that up on my wall.
Once again, art done by Daniel Warren Johnson.
I knew
Yep.
it looked familiar.
No, that panel of him just breaking that white supremacist arm, that's what good art is.
Hmm.
That's what I can say. That's like what just good art is.
That's just Daniel Warren Johnson to a T. He can do no wrong.
He cannot.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
um, haven't you been reading the New Gods too, right? Or are you done reading that?
I haven't read it, so I have no opinion.
Gotcha. Um, Personally, what I picked up today, because we do record these on Wednesdays, um, is I picked up Psylocke, which I haven't read. The only reason I picked it up is because Spawn kept telling me, "Well, you play her in Marvel Rivals, you might as well grab her book."
Hmm.
Um,
I said that once, and you said, you know what? It's a new number 1. I guess I'll pick it up. No,
uh,
let's get this straight here. You play Psylocke like once every 5 rounds, and then I was like, hey, they're coming out with a new Psylocke book. That's kind of cool to just see that we're getting more characters that don't have solo issues, solo runs, get solo runs. And you're like, I might pick it up. And I'm like, you should. And you're like, I am.
anyways, um, I also picked up issue 6 of Chip Zdarsky's Captain America. With that though, I haven't read any of it. And they're doing the reprintings next week, so I'm looking to pick all of those up, and then I just picked 6 up in advance. So when I catch up, I'll be able to read that right away. And then the other thing that I picked up was Something is Killing the Children, Volume 2. I didn't really understand the hype after reading Volume 1, so I'm hoping Volume 2 picks up because I really like the writer. His work on Exquisite Corpses was really, really good. I also read this week I read Do a Power Bomb, which I loved. Even if you're a non-wrestling fan, I would definitely recommend it. Daniel Warren Johnson, and then the other story that I read by Daniel Warren Johnson was The Moon is Following Us. I read volume one. I ordered volume two. We'll see where the series goes from there. So that's what we've all been pretty much reading this week. What comes out next week, I think, is going to get us pretty excited. It's a bunch of absolute books, so that's always good, as well as what I'm looking forward to, but I still got to convince these two to get it. Iron Man issue number 1 by Joshua Williamson.
Listen, I want to say this. I love Joshua Williamson. I think he's a fantastic writer. Probably my favorite writer that I'm just like currently reading. Listen, I picked up the last Iron Man solo run by I'm blanking on his name right now, but that was kind of like meh. So I don't believe it won't be interesting. I'm just gonna wait a few issues before I pick it up.
I mean, I like Iron Man, but I'm not gonna go out my way to like pick it up anytime soon.
You want to talk a little bit more about the Absolute books that are coming out, Spawn?
Yeah. For those that are not in the loop, next week we're getting Absolute Martian Manhunter issue um
8.
8. Thank you. Which Absolute Martian Manhunter has been, in my opinion, the most creative and just the most interesting book of the Absolute series. I think the art is fantastic. I think the writing is fantastic.
Hmm.
It is such a trippy, existential, introspective book. And like my words don't do it justice. It is my by far one of the best comics I think I've ever read in my life. And I'm so happy I get to be picking it up every month.
Hmm.
On the flip side, we have the Absolute Batman 16, the second part of the crossover with him and Absolute Wonder Woman. I really loved seeing them interact in Wonder Woman issue 15. So I'm so excited to see what we'll see in this one. And I mean, Absolute Batman is just amazing. It's my second favorite Absolute book. I think it's such an interesting Batman story, and I love how just balls to the wall, I would say, it has gone with its depictions of Joker and Bane and just the like there are moments where it makes my skin crawl, but I gotta keep reading because I want to know what happens next.
Yeah, I especially like how they play it off as like almost his whole rogues gallery was his friends growing up, and like just awful stuff is happening to them, and you see how they become what will eventually be enemies for him. And then another one that's coming out is Absolute Wonder Woman 16 that's going to have Zatanna in it. So that's a big one. And then the other one is Absolute Flash 11. I got to catch up to Absolute Flash. Fanboy, are you planning on catching up now that you have
I
Infinite and everything?
actually, yeah, I got Infinite today. I actually caught up with Absolute Martian Manhunter and Flash, which to me, Flash is underrated. I feel like no one talks about that book.
Yeah, I feel like it started kind of slow. And
Which is bad for a Flash book.
well, yeah, it's bad for a Flash book, and then bad. Uh, the issue is you're putting these other absolute books against Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. That's just chock full of action. Where Manhunter like kind of gets a pass because of how its art is and everything like that, and it's not really like the other absolute books. This is more like existential crisis, essentially, where these ones are still superhero books, but Flash is just kind of left out, even though I think it has great art. And I do like the way that the story is going. I just think it started out slow, and people aren't giving it a second chance.
I definitely consider that. I would I need to give it a second chance. I I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I feel like for me, and you guys can, you can say what you think. I feel like there are certain characters that are, for me, I really like, but like those stories are hard to read for me sometimes. Like Flash is a great example. I love the Flash. Barry Allen is my guy. Love Wally West. I love the Flash and all his mythos, and I love talking to the Flash. But it's hard sometimes to read Flash comics, you know?
Yeah, I feel like so I got into Absolute Flash by reading the trade that came out. I feel like single issues it wouldn't read well. Like I feel like it is a very trade heavy or even digital heavy where you're just like essentially reading it digitally you just feel like it's one continuous story rather than going issue to issue. And I think that's how I feel about Absolute Superman as well. I don't think Superman is great single issue.
I I would say that I agree. My brother, who is collecting Absolute Superman, I read his single issues. And I've read maybe the first seven single issues, but I fell off of it. Superman again, also one of those characters for me that's very hard to read because sometimes writers don't know how to write Superman. I will say Joshua Williams' Superman run, very banger. But Absolute Superman, I've caught up on it, but it is just kind of hard to read issue to issue.
What do
Mhm.
you think about Absolute Superman, fanboy?
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of didn't like it at first when I first read it, but after rereading it on the DC app, like it's growing on me.
Which I think this whole conversation I think speaks to a bigger um I don't want to say issue because I don't think it's a bad thing, but something interesting in the world of comics is that you have these books sometimes where if you're reading it issue to issue, like I would say Absolute Batman, so interesting to read issue to issue because you're like, okay, I have the time to really process this, see what's going on. But then you have books like Absolute Flash or Absolute Superman where you're like, okay, I should read this as a trade. And I feel that that's such an it's such an interesting thing that is experienced.
I think a lot of that is I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about Superman in the 80s when he was written by Burns, I think it was.
Yeah.
But they were saying the issue with like characters like Superman, and they brought up Wonder Woman. I don't think it's the case with absolute Wonder Woman, but they say almost all of their stories, it seems all these writers they overwrite the character. And there's so much to read where I don't think you would get that issue with your Batmans, you know. Batman is very stoic, he's very like two sentences and you're done reading.
Hmm.
Where like Flash, there's like pondering, like he's running away from home. And then Superman, it's all this political drama and everything that's going on. So I think in the sense of it's a lot of reading for a single issue, to the point where you put the single issue down and you feel almost tired after reading it. But
Which I will say that brings up the interesting conversation that I don't know if you guys have seen this on TikTok, but I mean like, there's those people that are like, oh, I won't read this Fantastic Four comic, for example, from the 60s because there's just this wall of dialogue. Which I don't know. Me personally, I like when a comic issue has these introspective moments.
Hmm.
Some of my favorite issues of just comics in general is just speaking. And I think that it is when it is a writer that knows how to write, oh, it's the most interesting thing in the world. But if a writer doesn't know how to write that character, when you are hit with that text wall, you are tired.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earths, the first one, it feels like they literally got paid per word. The amount of text in that series is insane to the point where you're like, why do these people even have speech bubbles? Like they're not saying anything. And I think that's a issue that people are running into with those older comics is a lot of times they'll just be saying nonsense.
Yeah. Fanboy, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it is a book. Like you're supposed to read a book. Like that's one thing I will say. And yeah, honestly, get just read it.
Just read it, fanboy.
I mean, reading Fantastic Four from Stanley and Jack Kirby, and like it's entertaining to this day to me. Or even 70s Spider-Man comics. Like I love reading 70s Spider-Man comics.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I guess like, for us it's the love of the game, we'll read that stuff. But I also like I see the other side of the other side of it where it's like, there is too much. I think if I could sum this up in one word, it's just like, to each their own.
Yeah.
I love comics. I love reading comics, and I love getting people into comics, and I've been getting my girlfriend into comics. And like I love her to death. She listens to every comic thing I talk about, and I feel so bad sometimes because I'm like over explaining literally everything in the world, everything about X-Men or something like that. And there's like books that I would love to recommend her or stuff. But sometimes it is just such a like homework task to read this grandiose experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as comic fans though, like you said, there are those two groups. One group that says it's too much reading, one group that says deal with it. I feel like the people that say deal with it also shouldn't be saying like, "Oh, you're not a real comic fan if you can't read all this stuff," because
Yeah.
it's just personal preference at that
Hmm.
point. Like
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
I can say I like books, but I'm not gonna go out and buy a 900-page Stephen King book,
hey, I mean Stephen King is a fantastic author, so
when he wants to be.
yeah, this is true. When he's on cocaine and he's listening to Mambo number five. Fenmore, you were going to say something.
yeah, well, man, like you shouldn't be toxic anyway. Yeah, honestly, maybe start with a modern day comic. Like let's say you want to read Daredevil. Well, start with Chip Zdarsky's run, then maybe go back to older Daredevil comics.
For sure. And I feel like also like even dipping in this conversation it is that bigger conversation of like especially now with just how prevalent comics are, how superheroes are, how the internet is, there is so much just toxicity in
Hmm.
these communities. And like I don't know, me personally, I wish there wasn't. I love comic books. I love this medium. It brings me so much joy as a reader, as a writer, as a filmmaker. But then, but I do have to acknowledge that there are people in this community that are just absolutely toxic and, you know, they suck.
I feel like some toxicity can be justified. Hear me out.
Okay.
I think especially with the people that decide to chime in on like comic runs, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I haven't read it," and it's like, "Oh, well, why are you talking?" And they're
I
like,
mean, they probably watch a video on YouTube about it.
"No,
Well,
not
then,
even that.
then,
It'd be
then,
like I watched the movie."
well, then that's its own sub thing of like,
Yeah.
oh, book versus film kind of thing. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, because I've seen it on my TikTok, and I mean, the three of us have talked about it so many times. It's like you'll say, "Oh, I like this book," you know, like what? I'll use the example. I'm not going to beat around the bush with it. I liked Mr. Miracle by Tom King. Is it a little bit inaccurate to what Jack Kirby was writing with the Fourth Wall and the New Gods? Sure, but I like the story that Tom King proposes for Scott in that story, and I think it's a very, very good book. And I've said this multiple times. I have a video on my TikTok to plug in. That's a hot takes video, and one of my hot takes is that I think Mr. Miracle is a fantastic book, and I think it's one of the best DC books, just in general. The amount of people that were in my comments and still are in my comments saying, "Oh, why do you like this book? Why do you like this book? It's bad, it's bad, it's bad." It's like at the end of the day. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I'm going to read what I read because I like it. And there is so much negativity, but there's also so much positivity. I mean, I met you guys. We're positive
Hmm.
about comics.
for the most
So,
part.
for
Unless
the
we're
most
talking
part.
about that fraud Alan Moore. Anyways, that's one thing I will say, piggybacking off of you talking about Tom King, is I don't think it's fair people will not read somebody because of their past or what they've done outside of the comic world. I think it's a little much. I feel like you're missing out and you're kind of gatekeeping yourself because,
Yeah.
like Tom King, oh, well, Tom King was in the military, he's a war criminal or whatever. He's writing a comic book, dude. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I also would like to say for the presses, Tom King, he's written some interesting stuff, but not everything he's written is good. And there's a lot of things that I don't like by Tom King, but there is a few things I do.
but you're not gonna sit there and be like, I refuse to read it because of his past.
No.
Did you have anything else to say on this, fanboy?
I mean, I could kind of get why you don't want to read a book because someone's passed, but yeah, sometimes you just separate the art from the artist. I would say.
And
Uh, I so we talked.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
I think
uh,
I think we should talk about Fallout.
oh, uh, we'll talk. Let's talk about Marvel Rivals real quick before we move on to
Nice.
Fallout.
He loves Fallout.
Dude, Fallout's so good. What else
um,
is
so
what?
for the gamers out there, Marvel Rivals. What? When did they release Deadpool? Has it been a full 2 weeks? Or is
Deadpool,
it?
I think it's
Deadpool,
this
by the
week.
time this episode is out, it will be a full 2 weeks.
So Deadpool's out. He could play any role. It kind of changed everything else around it. What do you guys think? And I'll give my thoughts on the end.
Ben, will you
I think
start us off?
Deadpool. Oh, oh, yeah. You want to start, Max, or should
No,
I?
no, no, Fanboy, you go ahead. You hit us.
As someone who plays hero shooter since 2016 with Overwatch, I think Deadpool is a breath of fresh air. Like he's in three roles. Like you could play as tank, DPS, healer. Like it's just so much fun to learn. His new like skills and in the game. I still don't understand his ult. I really don't.
I don't either.
No one does.
Nobody does. You kind of just do the ult and you hope for the best.
Mhm. Or in comp, you could ban him on tank and ban him on DPS, but he's still in support. I think I just think Deadpool is fun. I will
I
nitpick the voice actor. I'm sorry. I love Nora North as Deadpool. Like he is my
yeah,
Deadpool.
that's
Yeah, that's
that's
my
fair.
thoughts.
Uh, I think Deadpool's interesting. I definitely still need to learn Deadpool, but that's with most of the characters in the game. I think, like you guys said, he's such a fun breath of fresh air because he is all three roles. So every quick play match, at least, you never know what Deadpool you're gonna fight against. So
Hmm.
that's something interesting. I think he works mechanically really fun. Um, as somebody that plays Marvel Rivals comp, because I hate myself, he's very interesting to see in comp matches because you either have people that know how to use him properly or are just using him to play Deadpool. So we'll see if that keeps on going for the rest of the season. But yeah, besides that, he's fun, and I mean, I like Nolan North as Deadpool too. Don't get me wrong. But I gotta show love to one of my favorite YouTubers from my past, Kagi. Please come on the podcast. It would be so fun. That's my pitch.
Um, I like Deadpool. I wish that when they did his kit, they would stop adding these stupid rings to every character that comes out. Like his like taunt ability has that ring around it, just like
Hmm.
Rogue. and what it does is it just clutters up the screen, and you're like, I don't know what's going on.
But that's Deadpool for you. You don't know what's going
I think that's yeah, that's just a Rivals problem in general. I mean, you get one of those, you get like a Psylocke ult, you get like all these ults and all these abilities stacked on top of each other.
on. And
It,
then
it
you
feels
hear
like
from the
somebody
top
just
ropes. You
yeah.
hear from the top ropes just an Angela ult.
It
Anyone
feels
can
like
install.
somebody just threw paint cans on your screen. But I think he's completely broken in support, and every support Deadpool I see is only healing because they missed their initial shot. Um, uh, but yeah, I think he, like you guys said, it's a breath of fresh air, especially when it comes to being able to upgrade your abilities and everything. It's a newer concept. Does it work? Well, maybe if I understood the abilities. um, but so yeah, that's I'd say that's Marvel Rivals, our little corner for Marvel Rivals. So Max Spawn, why don't you kick off the Fallout thing since you've been waiting for it?
I have been waiting.
He's been dying.
I've been, you know what one could say. I've been in the wastelands waiting for to talk about Fallout. Fallout is one of my favorite game franchises of all times. I've been really enjoying the show. Um, but these last two episodes, man, especially this episode, I loved episode 5 and I thought it was great. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder what they're gonna do next. But you know what? I can't even beat around the bush. Ron fucking Perlman. He's fucking back in Fallout as a fucking super mutant.
Wait, that was him?
That was Ron Perlman.
I did not realize that was
Nice.
Ron Perlman, if I'm being
I
honest.
didn't either. I didn't know he was gonna be in the
Ah,
show.
Well, they
yeah.
kind of use like it seemed like they kind of pitched his voice around a little bit.
They pitched his voice a little bit lower than he usually is, but when he gets the light on him, the like the moonlight and the fire on him a little, you can
Yeah.
tell it's Ron Perlman. But
Spoilers, by
so
the way.
yeah, spoiler, sorry, I'm too excited about all this. For those that don't know, Ron Perlman does a lot of the narration in all the Fallout games. He says the famous iconic line, "War never changes." And so to see Ron Perlman being Fallout is just such a nice, it's just such a cool thing for the fans. Besides that, I think what they're doing this season with everything with New Vegas, I think has been super interesting. Everything with the Ghoul and Cooper and like how those stories are going back and forth between the present and the past before the bombings and just the depth that we're getting on these characters and really just seeing how fucking crazy Vault-Tec is. Like that just that opening with Cooper's wife, Barbara, them pitching all of this shit to her. Like, oh yeah, we can control what vault does not get water. Or hey, we can make people pay even more for the luxury vaults. It's like they're planning the end of the world like it's a fucking ride at Disney. So it's just so interesting. And like just to shout out one other actor, Kyle MacLachlan as Hank is such an interesting character to watch because he's fucking evil, he's fucking crazy, but he's so charismatic about it that you're just like, fuck.
You think
He might be selling me.
as a film student and everything, do you think
Yeah.
that they just used heavy like makeup and prosthetics on his face when they show him in the flashbacks with like Cooper and everything, or do you think that's like CGI?
I think it's a little bit of both because like
It
I
looks too smooth.
right, it does. And like he looks the best way I can say it is if those who know Kyle MacLachlan, his most famous thing is Twin Peaks. He looks how he did in Twin Peaks, if not a bit more smoother. And I can say it's a little bit of both because I really don't know. I would love to see when the visual effects come out for everything, how they did that. Because he looks great. It doesn't look uncanny, it doesn't look unnerving. It looks really good.
It doesn't look scuffed like how they did in Star Wars, is what you're
Well,
saying.
Star Wars and CGI is a whole other thing.
Yeah, I really liked the start of the episode where they threw the water chip down. I was like, oh, that's a water chip. And then they're like 30% of these fail. I was like, oh no. Fanboy, did you have stuff on the Fallout
Ye-
show?
I mean, like I said in group chat, there's like two or three scenes that I like. Like what Max said, the super mutant. I thought that was awesome. The moment I saw the skull in the bag,
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's super mutant. And I was so high. I was on the edge of my seat, like just show him, show him, show him. I thought it was gonna be like Marcus, but I mean, it's fine either way.
I
Uh,
uh I thought it's interesting they're showing like the reason that Cooper takes drugs is to keep away the ghoul essentially
mhm.
inside of him.
Yeah.
Like where he's flipping out on the pole. Um,
Impaled on a pole, just flipping out.
there was some stuff in the episode I wasn't a fan of. I don't know how you guys felt about the latest episode, like as a whole, but I felt like it was kind of too all over the place, and the the jump cuts seemed like a lot.
I would say that I feel like the only reason it feels all over the place is because I think there's like two, right? This is episode 6. So we have two more episodes left. So everything's got to start like they all got to meet up. And I feel like the only thing I personally did not enjoy about the episode, I did find it funny. Mm, I don't like that stuff with Maximus and um
The other
his
guy, yeah,
yeah, and his friend. I feel like that's just like, oh, let's have a comedy section. And then all this stuff with the Vault 32. Again, it's a comedy section, but I did find it funny. I just, it's taking away from my main interest of the episode, which is all the stuff with Cooper and his wife and the stuff with Lucy and her father and just seeing this executive vault that is just like an insane thing to have in Vegas. Because if, for people that play the games, you go into New Vegas, you see Mr. House, and then you can find that other vault, but you don't know anything else.
Mhm.
It's very
And,
interesting.
that's why you mentioned about the humor. To me, the humor is either hit or miss. Like it's not gonna land every time.
now that I'm thinking about it, and you're talking about like the Volt 32 stuff, uh, we didn't see any of Lucy's brother this episode,
We did not see Norm. Love Norm. Shout out Norm. He's cool.
and that was such a big part of last episode, and they should have probably thrown that in instead of the Maximus stuff.
Yeah, again, it would have been interesting. Like, I feel like all that Maximus stuff could have been like the beginning of the next episode. But I also understand why. We as the audience have to wait to see what happens to Norm in the next episode.
My biggest thing is, will Cooper end up turning into a glowing one since they just threw uranium in his stomach?
Yeah, that's all like we'll see. But also like, it does like the whole mystery still that I'm still pondering, which I feel like I know the answer to, is that in the last episode you have House fucking crashing out as he does, telling Cooper there's a mystery player at the table. I'm fucking crazy. You're a killer. And his fucking Walt Disney Howard Hughes looking ass. And it's like, what? He looks like take a picture of Walt Disney, put it next to Robert House. Tell me
You're
that's
not
not.
wrong. You're
I'm
not
not.
wrong.
But who is this mystery player? Is it the Enclave? Is because it could be. It makes the most sense that this is the Enclave. If it's the Enclave, then okay, sure. This is Bethesda and this is flawed. It makes sense that it's the Enclave. But if it isn't, which I don't think it won't be, if it isn't the Enclave, the Fallout writers now have either the opportunity or the mistake of making this group that is above Vault-Tec in the whole grand scheme of things. So it's very interesting.
I still am holding on to the belief that the guy that's playing House is actually just going to end up betraying him, and he's all part of the Enclave. And I think
Oh, you mean
he's
the
gonna,
body double?
yeah, the body double.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah, that may be interesting.
That would be interesting to see.
Um,
Interesting.
I will say I love the dog. Can we get a moment of dog appreciation? Dog meat.
dog
Oh,
meat.
dude, dog meat's the best.
Dog meat's the best.
He said, "Hand me my satchel," and then he goes, "That's my hat."
He was just a little guy in the wasteland fighting for his life. He's Dog meat is truly an inspiration to all of us.
uh,
That is true.
I do. I, I don't know if I like the human control aspect thing.
I
Uh,
mean, I think it makes sense for House to have that because he was like making the Securitrons and all that stuff. It is a little weird, but I don't. It's not something to me that's like, oh, this is a betrayal to the character. Ugh.
What the hell is that noise?
So don't ask. But you know what I mean? Like it makes like if I found that in the game as like a blueprint or something, I would be like, okay, that makes sense.
I think it's more weird that Kyle MacLachlan's character is just like, "Oh, I need to finish this work that house started." It's like, what's your problem, man? we get why House is screwed up, but why are you screwed up?
Well, I mean, if you've lived for 200 years, oh, not even, maybe even more, because like he's there before the bombs dropped. He works for Vaultec. They fucking shot cold fusion, by the way,
Yeah,
into his fucking head and pulled that shit out. I would, and he nuked Shady Sands.
yes, he did. Out of nowhere too, unprovoked.
No, provoked because his wife said, "No, I don't want to go back to the vault."
I I, I I saw a report. I don't know if you guys saw this report, but they said that viewership is down like I think it was like 70% from season one to season two. Um,
I think it's because they're not doing it all at once.
did they do it all at once the first time?
Yes, they did. I watched
Yeah, yeah.
all of Fallout season one was binged by me in like 2 days because Fallout is a fantastic show. I think it's just waiting. It's the same thing with the comics. I think Fallout's one of those shows you got to binge.
Yeah. Um, they've already greenlit season three apparently, and they're gonna begin shooting in May or something.
Mhm.
So that'll be interesting whether or not we even get this war that the super mutant talks about, if that's even going to be in this season at all. Because
I don't think it will. I think
I,
they're
yeah,
setting the seeds for next season.
mm,
Because
I
this
mean,
seems to be a very. Oh, I'm sorry, fanboy.
no,
Continue.
no, it's okay. I was about to say, like you got to build up to the war. You got to build up to it, which I hope it happens.
I hope they fight on Hoover Dam. That would be kind of fun.
yeah, that would be cool if they like threw everything, like the president and everything like that.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be cool.
but I mean, the issue is the Brotherhood of Steel. Like, where are we going with that at this point? Is it done?
I hope so. Let me spit for a second. Let me spit. The Brotherhood of Steel is just a bunch of frat guys with power armor and guns. And I personally, in my playthroughs of Fallout, have always eradicated the Brotherhood of Steel because fuck those guys.
I love
And
the Brotherhood of Steel.
well, they're stupid and dumb.
I love Paladin Dance.
Hey, Paladin Dance is a great companion. You can't change my mind.
They're only cool in Fallout 3 because they're fucking story necessity.
They're cool in Fallout 4.
No, they're
They're
not.
cool
They're
in
just
every Fallout game.
they're only the only thing that's cool about the Brotherhood of Steel is the T60 armors.
I would say Fallout 3 is the least cool Brotherhood of Steel.
I'm just saying. I hope the Brotherhood of Steel they step on a grenade that's really big and just nuke themselves.
Well, because who is the leader under or above Maximus? What was his name?
Ah, Paladin old man
Yeah,
McGee or
well,
something.
Paladin Old Man. Is he dead? Is he alive? Like,
No, he's alive.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's
alive
alive.
because fucking Maximus, with a laser pistol, by the way, can't hit his fucking shot.
well, yeah, like, but the other factions that were there started like killing each other, like the leaders. So I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if he got in that or what's going on.
Well, the interesting thing is that they keep teasing every time they were talking about the Brotherhood of Steel, they're teasing the Commonwealth from Fallout 4, which we know is the most powerful faction of the Brotherhood of Steel. So I wonder if we're going to see them next season.
That would be cool, especially in like a retaliation standpoint. Um,
Then
since
what?
they did kill their whatever they called that guy.
Yeah. But that guy was also like an asshole and was going to kill a bunch of children. So he kind of deserved it.
Yeah, I would say he did deserve. I thought it was. I don't know. I don't like the actor because of all the Booster Gold talks. So I'm a little biased.
Well, without biasing, this is why I don't like the Brotherhood of Steel. Is it's because they dictate, oh, what's if you're anything but human, you're not pure. And it's like, go fuck yourself. It's the apocalypse. Shit's there's giant mutated fucking cockroaches I've been fighting for 20 hours. Fuck off with your dumb prejudice.
Do you guys have like a favorite scene so far from season two, regardless of episode? Just anything in season two?
I gotta think. I love that scene in episode 1 of Hank getting to the vault
Where he's
and
in the
him.
golf cart.
Yeah, he was in the golf cart with the power armor, and then he gets the suit. I like that. I kind of love last episode's conversation of House and Cooper when where House is like, "I know what you are. You're a killer and a coward. I know when the world's gonna end."
Yeah, the thing that I really enjoyed was them showing the Alaska front, like the Alaskan battles and stuff like that.
I was about to mention that.
Yeah, that's also fucking sad.
Especially where he sees the death claw.
Dude. Or
And at first I was like, oh, maybe this is like just like his memories kind of blending together. And then once that conversation between House and him happened, and House is like, I saw the demon that you saw, I was like, oh, so it was real that whole time.
which is like I will give the Fallout team this. The production design they're doing is insane because like I hate fighting Deathclaws in the games, man. But seeing that, like I felt Cooper's fear.
But even like the scorpions in that hospital.
Ugh. 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 Dude, I love Fallout, man, but I'm so antsy when I play because I fucking hate all the mutated fucking animals I have to kill.
One of my favorite, this is more like on the comedic aspects, but the guy that McLaughlin takes over, the like snake oil salesman, when
Yeah.
he's coming to Vegas and he's like skipping down the road whistling, and then it cuts to a scene of him like battling for his life with a rad roach. I really like that scene.
That's just I was talking about that's just a perfect that's like the perfect contrast of what Fallout New Vegas is.
Yeah. Uh, uh,
Uh, oh, I was about to say my favorite scene. Like I know Max is a hater of Brotherhood of Steel, the biggest hater I know,
Oh yeah.
but I do like the scene where they're in that what was it, Area 51 or some
It is
type
yeah,
of
it was
building
Area 51. Yeah.
where they open the fridge and they see like a frozen alien, but they're
Oh
like,
yeah.
it's a fridge with
Yeah.
power.
You know what
And
that
also
scene
with
is
the
funny.
car too.
Oh
But
my
I
God.
thought that was funny.
People got
Like,
really upset about that on Twitter, by the way. I know you guys don't really use Twitter, but like when the Brotherhood of Steel blew up that car, it was a firestorm on Twitter. They're like, the Brotherhood would never destroy a piece of technology like that.
I would.
But that's the Brotherhood of Steel. They're stupid.
They're dumb. What?
I hate them. I can't stress this enough. Like I can't stress the the vocals of my voice in this. The Brotherhood of Steel are like aesthetically pleasing, but I fucking hate them. I shoot all of them every time I see them. I'll be walking around Fallout 4 and it's like, oh, it's the Brotherhood of Steel. And I'm like, ah, done.
Yeah, but Liberty Prime is so cool.
Dude, Larry Prime is the best.
I don't care. Gun.
Dude, Larry Prime as a toy or statue would be so cool to own.
One of my favorite things to do in Fallout 4 is where you have to go find the paladin that's in the bunker.
Oh yeah.
And I make Paladin dance, wait outside, and I just blow his head clean off. And then I come out and I'm like, yeah, he started shooting at me. He's crazy.
I love doing that too.
So we're about 50 minutes in. Is there anything else we wanted to add on before I do the outro?
There
I
were
love
there were frames for Invincible today. They look really, really nice. I'm very excited for Invincible to come back on the air
Mhm.
because Invincible is
too.
one of my favorite comics. It's one of my favorite shows right now, and it looks great, man. We saw Thrag and Dinosaur.
Fanboy, any last words?
I was about to say before Max interrupted me. I like the Brotherhood of Steel. That is all.
Okay. Some comic stuff that came up while we were recording. Is Mad Magazine is doing a DC crossover on well, take this with a grain of salt because the release date is listed as April 1st. And it says it's guest edited by Chip Zdarsky. So we'll see how that goes if it comes out and it's not an April Fool's joke. But yeah, so the cover is the mad guy in a Hush uniform, and he seems to be having some gas that is making Superman and Batman nauseous. So
Oh
yeah,
God.
that's something, I guess. But
I
yeah, what was up?
I hope that's not a real cover.
I hope it's not real altogether. I just want Mad Magazine to shut down.
You know what? I always forget that they are still around. Like every so
Barely.
often, I'm like, oh yeah, Mad is a thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they had that Cartoon Network TV show that I thought was pretty good at the time.
Dude, don't even say that to me. Oh my God. You're making me feel my age.
I mean, I always see Mad Magazine at work. I'm pretty sure they're reprints, but I could be wrong.
I I don't know. I heard they were going out of business and stopping print, but then I do see new stuff, so I don't know what to believe anymore,
I
especially with
mean,
magazines.
it could be reprints too. Like, here's a reprint of Mad Magazine with Star Wars.
Yeah. Did you watch the TV show Fanboy?
Oh yeah, day one.
I
But
remember specifically because it scarred me as a kid. There was I think they did like a Cars parody where like
Oh, I
Lightning
remember that
McQueen
one.
got put in like the Crusher. And I'm
Yeah.
just like thinking back on it, there's a lot of stuff in that show that should have not been shown for children.
Back when cartoons were allowed to be edgy.
But not good edgy. Like
We're talking about fucking Mad Magazine, man.
Yeah, it's I think his name's Alfred J. Newman is the mad like mascot. Um but yeah, it's certainly an acquired taste and one that I think stopped all the way back in the 70s. But yeah, so I think that's gonna do it for us. Join us next week, same bat time, same bat place. Fanboy Spawn. Can we get a goodbye out of you guys?
Goodbye. Thank you for
bye,
listening, and I hope you enjoy.
bye. Have a good day.